Today we're going to work on this old Honda Aero scooter. Hope to get it running properly. In our previous video, we shot some gas in the carburetor and it ran momentarily, which was promising. Before we get started with this, I want to thank all you guys for your kind words and congratulations about our new house. And Camera Girl for doing a fantastic job since that last video, giving some order to our workspace, making it more usable and more tidy.
Thanks for noticing.
You did an amazing job. I think the first thing we should do here is drain the fuel that's in the gas tank. And probably the easiest way to do that is just take off the seat, take off the gas tank so we can easily drain and rinse it out with new fuel. Does that work for you?
Yep.
You know who got in contact with me after our last video?
Oh, I know. It was Robert.
It was Robert. He said, "Hey, you goofy such and such."
He did say that.
I've got the key to that Aero scooter. Two 10mm nuts are all that hold the seat onto the motorcycle. If a feller has the key, why are the ignition wires cut?
Maybe the key was inside and the wire cutters were right there.
Of course.
Makes perfect sense.
So there's the seat, and this reminds me of the old Trail 90 seat. See that Honda heritage through the generations? What do you think we should name this machine?
I don't know.
I could see you cruising through a beach town on the Honda Aero. So I'm thinking maybe Beach Street.
It doesn't stick yet.
Malibu.
I don't know.
Surfer Girl.
I'm Camera Girl.
When you clean the garage as well as you did, you are Queen Jennifer, first class, love of my life.
I also made you cookies last night.
With honors. Removing the fuel tank now, which is attached to the motorcycle with 4 bolts, 6mm in diameter with 10mm head. Something I need to mention is this screw that you see here. This does not belong. On a Japanese motorcycle, all the fasteners are metric. And probably the most common fastener on a Japanese motorcycle is this. 6mm diameter bolt with a 10 or 8mm hex head. Just looking at the motorcycle, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. But something very common in a mechanic's garage is also a 1/4 inch American thread bolt. To somebody who's blind or ignorant, and I don't mean those in a derogatory way, these look similar. But if you try to put a 1/4 inch American bolt in a metric hole, you're going to damage the hole. After years of working on motorcycles, I can tell at a glance what these are.
I usually can too.
But we're old hands at this. Everyone has to start somewhere. I'm going to digress from removing the tank just to replace this bolt because it bothers me that much. See, when you try to put one of these bolts in the wrong hole, it only goes in a little bit until it binds up enough that you can't turn it anymore without snapping the bolt off. Find a replacement for that. All right, I found a new bolt to go in here. Hopefully the threads aren't so bad that it won't fit. Yeah, she'll go. Might need a little bit of persuasion to bring the threads back where they ought to be. You will never find an American bolt on a Japanese motorcycle. You hardly find these anywhere anymore, except maybe hardware stores, chain link fences. Times have changed. There. Much better. Now I'll get the tank off. Okay, I have all the bolts removed, so this tank is loose. Just need to take off the tubes going to the carburetor. There's two of them. This is the fuel line, and this is a vacuum source to the fuel valve. The way this works is it only lets fuel out of the tank when it senses vacuum through this hose. See if it works. Watch right here.
Oh.
No. So there might be a filter in here that's clogged up. Shall we see?
Yes.
Step over in here to the other stall. This is where Sandy lives, our 2003 Honda Civic. Possibly the finest economy car in existence. So I'll take this off. Very curious to see what the fuel looks like in here. Remember, I think it's going to be darker than what came out of Hard Times. Ready?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, never mind. I'm not qualified.
Me neither. And it's draining out really good, so we don't have a clogged filter in there.
Why does it smell so bad?
It smells worse than it looks.
You gonna put it back in?
Might just. Price of gas these days. The good news is, I don't see any garbage in there. Might not have been that long since the old Aero was running and riding. So I'll finish draining this out, then rinse out the tank with new gas. Probably should clean the carburetor too. Not a carburetor channel though.
It might not need that.
Okay, I have the tank and seat reinstalled on the motorcycle, and I made a discovery. I sucked just as hard as I could on this tube. Really showed it what for, and I wish I would have filmed it because I heard a click in this mechanism and fuel started rushing out of the fuel line. And now it hardly requires any suction to get fuel flow. Ready?
Sure.
See that?
Yep.
So it could be the only reason the motorcycle wasn't running before is because the fuel valve wasn't working. So I think what I should do now is reconnect the fuel line, leave the vacuum line open, drain the float bowl if there's anything in there. You can tell how new and special this garage is to me because I don't even want gasoline touching the concrete yet. Doubt there's anything in this, probably dry. But if I let gas flow through this tube, I imagine it will start to drain through the carburetor and onto the pan. Okay, I've been at that for a minute. No gas has traveled from the valve through the carburetor and onto the pan, which means we need to take the carburetor apart because no fuel is getting into the float bowl through the needle valve.
What a cute little carburetor.
Yeah, it's a small guy. Oh, and there was fluid in there.
This is the first carburetor you have cleaned at our new house.
It's an occasion. Wonder why the fuel wasn't flowing through it.
I'm excited to see this float pool.
I sure love you. Crack it open. Whoa.
See, oh.
Not bad at all. Well, why couldn't the gas get through there? Maybe this is just clogged. See, that's the screw I loosened that's supposed to drain the bowl of any gas. That's clogged. Found me blockage. Maybe just the tube? Just the tube. So this could be our only problem. A blocked drain tube. I wonder what is in there. Are you curious?
Yes. I'm gonna cut it open.
No, I'll just shove some wire through it.
I can see garbage in there.
Yeah?
Oh, do you see that?
Yeah. Use a little bit of my bright and shiny here. I imagine it's just
Chunks.
greasy goo.
Okay.
There it is. Have to send that to the lab for ID. So now, whoa. Well, my backsplash did its job there.
You christened the work table.
I think I can put this all back together now.
All right. This is the saddest set of turn signals I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a lop-eared variety. I like how the blue license plate matches the paint though.
Yeah.
Last registered in 91.
Got some bad news.
And some good news. The bad news is we had a camera malfunction and we didn't record the good news, which is the Aero 50 started first kick after reinstalling the carburetor and priming the float bowl a little bit by sucking on the vacuum tube. It's not going to be as magical this time, but watch this. Almost as magical though. That's a Honda. Come on over here and look at the instrument panel. Classic 80s. Green and red lighting. It even idles.
It's so smoky, it doesn't want to focus.
Yeah, the oil injection works. So the next step is to fix 2 flat tires, probably get a battery because the one in here is a fossil, and try to chase down an ignition key.
I'm so excited.
Me too. This will be a fun little machine. Thanks for watching.